With our cost of living through the roof, a problem entirely created by politicians here in Australia from both the Liberal and the Labor Party, Australia's pursuit of net zero emissions by 2050 has finally ignited a better debate about the feasibility and cost of transitioning to renewable energy sources. The Family First Party believes that achieving net zero without nuclear energy is unrealistic and that the Albanese government's existing policies, first pursued by the Liberals at state and federal level, will fall well short of meeting climate targets. To achieve net zero emissions, the scale of investment in renewables required is unprecedented. Labor's climate change bill mandates a 43% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. That's just 7 years away, necessitating the erection, and listen to this, of 40 large wind turbines per month and 22,000 solar panels per day. Let me just say that again. 40 large wind turbines per month and 22,000 solar panels per day. This is obviously not happening, and it's highly unlikely that it will happen. And this doesn't even take into account the thousands of miles of wires, poles, cables to get the electricity to our houses from the rural landscapes that are going to have solar panels and windmills put on them. Now, this monumental effort would demand immense volume of materials, energy and equipment, as well as the training and mobilisation of hundreds of thousands of skilled workers. The magnitude of this transition should not be underestimated. It probably cannot be achieved. While the Albanese government has embraced renewables as the primary solution, their policies fail to account for the challenges associated with the rapid transition away from fossil fuels. Coal-fired power currently provides approximately 60% of Australia's electricity needs, and sadly this is being phased out very quickly without any proper replacement firmed power or baseload power. To meet the renewables targets, renewables need to rise from supplying 30% to over 80% of the country's power, requiring extensive infrastructure development and access to vast amounts of land. But even with this rise, the issue of how to keep the lights on when there's no wind or when it's dark, that happens every few hours, this hasn't even been addressed. The technology in batteries, etc., is non-existent. Batteries can't run a modern city for any more than about 5 minutes. Now, given the significant challenges posed by the transition to renewables, nuclear energy emerges as the only realistic option to achieve net zero emissions. Nuclear power offers reliable and constant energy source free from greenhouse gas emissions. Countries like Canada, China, the US, the UK have already embraced nuclear power, recognising its contribution to emissions reduction. Australia must follow suit and seriously consider integrating at least small modular nuclear reactors into the energy mix. These reactors are safe, cost-effective, and can be connected to the existing grids, allowing for a smoother transition away from coal, if that's where we want to go. One of the concerns raised against renewables is the potential for energy costs to become unaffordable. The rush to renewables has led to increased electricity bills, we all know it. And experts are predicting a 35% rise in power prices next year. The government's focus on renewable energy has resulted in an imbalance between the cost of replacing fossil fuel capacity with renewables. For every $1 billion of fossil fuel capacity, it would require an $8 billion investment in renewables. This cost burden is ultimately transferred to customers. It goes onto your electricity bill, making energy less affordable and for households and businesses.